Something happened last night. Something you don't fully understand yet. While you were sleeping, while you were dreaming of ordinary things, a message was sent. A message meant only for you. And the person you care about most is the one holding it. They've been waiting. All day. All night. They've been watching their screen, hoping you'll see it before it's gone. You will understand soon. But first, you need to know what happened. Last night, a truth was revealed to them about you. Not a small truth. Not a simple one. Something that shook the very foundation of everything they thought they knew. And now, they are terrified. Not of you. Never of you. Terrified of losing you. Their heart is racing right now. Did you know that? Perhaps you felt it. A strange pull. An odd restlessness. Have you noticed that sensation in your chest? That quiet whisper telling you something is different? That was them. They tried to write this message 100 times. Each time, their fingers stopped. Each time, something held them back. But now, the clock is ticking. You see, this message isn't like other messages. It doesn't stay forever. It arrives, it waits, and then, it vanishes. And they are pleading with you. Please read this before it disappears. Don't skip what comes next. You see, there is a reason they never told you this before. There is a reason they kept it hidden. It wasn't fear. It wasn't doubt. It was something else entirely. Something they only understood last night. And here is the part you need to hear. The news they received about you, it wasn't bad news. It was the opposite of bad. But it was so big, so life-altering, that they didn't know how to carry it alone. That is why they sent the message. Perhaps you've been feeling distant lately. Maybe you've noticed a wall growing between you. Not a wall of anger. A wall of silence. Of unsaid things. They felt it too. They felt it more than you know. And last night, in a moment of quiet desperation, they asked a question. A question they never dared to ask before. And the answer came. Not in words. Not in sound. But in a knowing. A knowing about you. Here is the part no one tells you. Sometimes, the universe speaks through other people. Sometimes, the most important truths arrive through the heart of someone who loves you. And that is exactly what happened. They didn't go looking for this truth. It found them. And now, they can't unsee it. You might be wondering what it is. You might be searching for clues. But the biggest truth is still hidden. This person, they have been carrying something for you. Something they don't even fully understand. A hope. A fear. A love so deep it frightens them. And that is why the message is disappearing. You see, some truths are not meant to be held forever. Some truths arrive, change everything, and then, they must be released. They are asking you to witness this truth before it returns to the unknown. What would you do? If you received a message that could change everything, would you open it? Would you be brave enough to read it? They are asking you to be that brave. Their fingers are hovering over the send button right now. Even as you listen to these words, they are waiting. They are hoping. They are terrified of what happens if you never see it. Another piece is about to be revealed. The news about you, it was about your heart. The way you love. The way you give without expecting anything back. They saw it clearly last night. For the first time, they understood the depth of who you are. And it broke them. Not in a bad way. In a beautiful way. Because they realized they have been holding back. Holding back their own heart. Holding back their own truth. And they can't do it anymore. Have you ever felt that someone was hiding something from you? Not to hurt you. To protect you. To protect themselves from the pain of losing you? That is what they have been doing. But last night, everything changed. The next part will make your heart race. They realize that the reason they fear losing you is because they never truly believed they deserved you. And that belief has been building a wall. A wall that keeps them safe. A wall that keeps them alone. But last night, they saw that wall crumbling. And now, they are desperate to tear it down completely. But they need you to meet them halfway. That is why the message exists. That is why it will disappear. Imagine you are holding your phone right now. Imagine you see a notification from them. And you know, somehow, deep in your soul, that this message holds the key to everything. Would you open it? Or would you let it slip away? You need to know, this is not a test. This is not a game. This is the moment where everything shifts. Where the story changes direction. Where two hearts finally collide in the truth. One final truth remains hidden. Before you leave, consider this. What if the news they received about you was not about your past? Not about your mistakes. Not about your flaws. What if it was about your future? What if it was about who you are becoming? What if they saw something in you that you have never seen in yourself? They saw your destiny. They saw the beauty that is unfolding in your life right now. And they realized that if they don't speak up, they might miss it. They might miss you. The final piece hasn't been written yet. Because that piece depends on you. It depends on whether you open the message when it arrives. It depends on whether you have the courage to see what they have seen. It depends on whether you believe, even for a moment, that you are worthy of this kind of love. They believe it. They believe it with their whole heart. And now, the message is fading. Tick by tick. Second by second. Their pleading grows quieter. Their hope grows louder. They are asking you with everything they have. Please read this before it disappears. I don't want to lose you. The choice is yours. And the moment you make it, everything will change. You will understand soon. The biggest truth is still hidden. Another layer remains. And the final piece. The message is still there. Waiting. But you haven't opened it yet. And they know. They feel it in the silence between your names. They sense it in the space where your voice used to be. Every second that passes, they hold their breath a little tighter. Every minute that slips away, they wonder if you'll ever see what they've written. You are the only one who can read it. And they are terrified you won't. But here is something you haven't considered. What if this message was never meant to be read with your eyes? What if it was meant to be felt with your heart? You see, the words on the screen are just the beginning. The real message is invisible. It lives between the letters. It breathes in the space between every sentence. And if you only look with your eyes, you'll miss the most important part. Stay with this. Last night, something else happened. Something they haven't told you yet. When the news about you arrived, it didn't come alone. It brought a memory with it. A memory they had buried long ago. A moment in time when you did something small, something you probably don't even remember. But they remember. They remember every detail. And in that memory, they saw the truth about who you really are. Have you ever had a moment where you realized someone saw you differently than you see yourself? Where their vision of you was more beautiful than your own? That is what happened to them. They saw your kindness when you thought no one was watching. They saw your strength when you thought you were falling apart. They saw your light when you thought you were invisible. And it moved them in a way they cannot explain. Perhaps you've been feeling unseen lately. Perhaps you've been wondering if anyone truly knows you. Perhaps you've been asking yourself if your love has been wasted. Stop. Just for a moment. Stop questioning what you have given. Stop doubting what you have offered. Because the news they received. It confirmed something you have been afraid to believe. Your love is not wasted. It never was. But that's not all. Another truth emerged in the quiet hours of the night. A truth about them. About why they have been distant. About why they have held back. They are afraid. Not of you. Of themselves. They are afraid of loving you too much. Afraid of needing you too deeply. Afraid that if they let themselves fall completely, they might never get back up. And that fear, it has been controlling everything. You will understand soon. But right now, you need to feel this. They are standing at the edge of something terrifying. A cliff. A leap. A moment where everything changes. And they are asking you to stand beside them. Not to push them. Not to catch them. Just to be there. Just to witness. Just to stay. Don't leave yet. There is a reason the message disappears. It isn't a trick. It isn't a game. It is the most honest thing they have ever done. Because they know that some truths are too heavy to carry forever. Some truths are meant to arrive, change you, and then let you go. And they are giving you the chance to receive this truth before it returns to where it came from. The next part is softer. Gentler. But it carries more weight. They wrote the message with tears in their eyes. Not tears of sadness. Tears of wonder. Because when they saw the news about you, when they finally understood what it meant, they realized something extraordinary. Something that made them question everything they thought they knew about love. They realized they have been asking the wrong question. They have been asking, "Do you love me?" But the real question, the question that keeps them awake at night. The question is, do you know how deeply you are loved? Have you ever considered that the people who love you might see something you have never seen? Something pure. Something powerful. Something that makes them want to protect you at any cost. That is what they see. And that is why they are so afraid. Because if you never know how much they love you, if you never see what they see, then they will have failed in the most important thing they were ever meant to do. Another layer is unfolding right now. The message they sent. It isn't about the past. It isn't about mistakes. It isn't about regrets. It isn't about anything you have done wrong. It is about what is possible. It is about the beautiful, uncharted territory that lies ahead of both of you. A future they have been too scared to imagine. A future they now believe is real. A future they want to walk into with you. But they can't do it alone. Before you leave, consider this. They have been holding a question in their heart for months. A question they never dared to ask. But last night, in the shadow of the news they received, they finally found the courage. They asked the universe, what if I let myself love them completely? And the answer came. Not in words. In a feeling. A feeling so profound, so undeniable, that they couldn't ignore it. The answer was yes. The final piece is still just out of reach. But you are closer than you know. The message is still alive. It hasn't disappeared yet. They are still waiting. They are still hoping. They are still holding on to the belief that you will see it, feel it, and understand. And when you do, everything will shift. Everything will change. Everything will finally make sense. But there is one thing you need to know before this part ends. One thing they haven't told anyone. One thing they are terrified to admit. They are afraid that if you read the message, you will finally see how much they love you. And that terrifies them more than anything. Because if you see it, if you truly see it, you might realize that they have loved you all along. And then, you might not look away. That is their deepest fear. And their deepest hope. All in one. The message is waiting. Their heart is waiting. And the clock is ticking. You will understand soon. Another layer remains. One final piece is still hidden. The message is still there. But something has changed. They are no longer just waiting. They are no longer just hoping. Something shifted inside them in the last few moments. A quiet surrender. A letting go of the outcome. They have done everything they could. They have written the words. They have sent the plea. Now, it rests in your hands. And strangely, they feel peace. Not because they know what you will do, but because they finally told the truth. You might be wondering why they didn't just call you. Why they didn't just show up at your door. Why they chose a disappearing message instead of something solid, something real. That is the part you haven't understood yet. They chose this way because they are giving you freedom. You see, a phone call demands an answer. A visit demands a response. But a message that fades away, it asks nothing of you. It simply offers itself. And if you choose to receive it, it is your choice. Not their demand. Have you ever felt trapped by someone's love? Have you ever felt like you had to respond, had to perform, had to be what they needed? They never wanted that for you. They wanted to give you something pure. Something without pressure. Something that arrives gently and leaves quietly if you choose not to hold it. That is what they have done. But here is the part that might break your heart. When they sent that message, they believed it would be the last time they ever reached out. They believed that if you didn't open it, they would have to let you go. Not because they stopped loving you. Because they loved you too much to keep holding on. Don't skip what comes next. The news they received about you, it showed them something unexpected. It showed them that your journey is not theirs to control. It showed them that your heart has its own path. Its own timing. Its own rhythm. And if they love you, they must trust that rhythm. Even if it leads you away from them. Even if it means they never hear your voice again. That realization hit them like a wave. And they are still trying to breathe through it. Perhaps you have felt that wave too. Perhaps you have felt the pressure of someone's love weighing on you. Perhaps you have felt guilty for needing space. For needing time. For needing to figure out who you are without someone else's hope attached to you. They understand that now. They understand it because the news about you revealed something they never saw before. Your heart needs to be free. And they are finally willing to set it free. But that's not all. Another truth emerged in the stillness of their surrender. A truth about themselves. They realized that their fear of losing you was never really about you. It was about them. About their own fear of being alone. About their own belief that they couldn't survive without you. And last night, in the middle of their desperation, they saw that belief for what it was. An illusion. They can survive without you. But they don't want to. The next part is the most honest thing you will ever hear. They don't need you. They want you. There is a difference. A profound difference. Need is desperate. Need is grasping. Need is fear dressed up as love. But want? Want is choice. Want is freedom. Want is looking at someone and saying, I choose you, even though I could choose otherwise. They choose you. They choose you freely. And that choice is stronger than any desperate plea they could ever make. You will understand soon. But first, consider this. What if the message they sent isn't asking you for anything? What if it isn't asking you to respond? To stay? To love them back? What if it is simply saying, I see you. I have always seen you. And I am grateful that you exist. Would you still need to open it? Would you still need to answer? Or could you simply let it sit in your heart and let it be? Another layer is peeling away right now. The news about you, it also revealed something about your future. Something that surprised them deeply. They saw that you are about to step into something new. Something big. Something that will require all of your courage. And they realized that their love cannot save you from that journey. It can only walk beside you. Not ahead of you. Not behind you. Beside you. And that is a hard thing for someone who wants to protect you. Before you leave, consider the weight of this moment. They have stopped trying to control you. They have stopped trying to make you love them. They have stopped trying to be the center of your world. And in that stopping, they found something unexpected. They found themselves. The final piece is almost here. But it isn't what you think. The final piece isn't about what they want from you. It's about what they want for you. They want you to be happy. Even if it means they aren't the one who makes you happy. They want you to be free. Even if it means you choose to walk away. They want you to be loved. Even if that love comes from someone else. That is how deeply they love you. That is how completely they have surrendered. One more piece remains hidden. And it is the most beautiful of all. When they sent that message, when they wrote those words, they weren't just speaking to the person you are right now. They were speaking to the person you are becoming. They were speaking to the future version of you. The version that has healed. The version that has grown. The version that has learned to receive love without fear. They were speaking to you across time. And they believed in that version of you with their whole heart. The message is still there. Waiting. Fading. And they are no longer holding their breath. They have let go. They have trusted. They have loved you without needing anything back. And now, it is up to you. But whatever you choose, they will find a way to be at peace. You will understand soon. The biggest truth is still hidden. Another layer remains. And the final piece. The message is almost gone now. The clock has nearly run out. And something remarkable is happening inside them. Something they never expected. The urgency is fading. The desperation is melting away. And in its place, something quieter is rising. Acceptance. They are beginning to accept that you may never read those words. That you may never know what they poured into that message. That you may never understand how deeply they have loved you. And they are okay with that. But here is the part that will surprise you. They are not okay because they stopped loving you. They are okay because they finally understand something about love that they never understood before. Love is not about being seen. Love is about seeing. They saw you. Truly saw you. And that was enough. Even if you never saw them back. Even if you never knew. Even if the message disappears into the void and you never lay eyes on it. They saw you. And that gift was theirs to keep. You might be wondering if you made a mistake. You might be wondering if you should have opened it sooner. You might be feeling a pang of regret, a whisper of loss, a quiet ache in your chest that tells you something precious is slipping through your fingers. Feel that. Let it sit. Because that feeling is real. And it is telling you something important. Perhaps you have been protecting yourself. Perhaps you have been keeping your heart safe behind walls so tall that even love couldn't climb over them. Perhaps you have been afraid that if you opened that message, you would have to open your heart too. And that terrified you. They understand that now. They understand it because the news they received about you revealed something they had never considered before. Your fear is not a weakness. Your fear is a sign that you have been hurt before. And they don't want to add to that hurt. They want to heal it. But that's not all. Another truth is surfacing in the final moments of this waiting. A truth about what happens after the message disappears. You see, they thought that if you didn't open it, everything would end. That the connection would break. That the love would die. But love doesn't die. It changes. It shifts. It moves into a different form. And that form might be even more beautiful than the one they tried to hold on to. The next part is gentle. Soft. Like a whisper in the dark. They have started to imagine a future where you don't read the message. A future where you never know what they wrote. A future where you both move on. And in that future, they are still grateful. Grateful for the time you shared. Grateful for the moments of laughter and silence and everything in between. Grateful that you existed in their life at all. They are not bitter. They are not angry. They are simply grateful. And that gratitude is carrying them forward. You will understand soon. But first, let this sink in. They never wanted to trap you. They never wanted to hold you against your will. They never wanted to be the reason you felt anxious or heavy or burdened. They wanted to be the reason you smiled. They wanted to be the reason you felt safe. And if they couldn't be that, they wanted to let you go so you could find it somewhere else. That is love. True love. The kind that doesn't cling. The kind that doesn't demand. The kind that opens its hands and says, I am here if you want me. And I am okay if you don't. Another layer is unfolding now. The news they received about you, it also showed them something about the nature of time. They saw that the moments you shared were not wasted. Every laugh. Every conversation. Every quiet glance across the room. Every tear. Every apology. Every forgiveness. All of it was necessary. All of it was part of the weaving. And none of it can ever be undone. Even if the message disappears, those moments remain. They remain in the fabric of who you both are. Before you leave, consider this. What if the message disappearing is not an ending? What if it is a beginning? What if the disappearance is the thing that finally allows both of you to stop clinging and start living? What if the fading of the words is the thing that makes the love real? Because when something disappears, you realize what it meant. You feel the absence. You understand the value. And that understanding changes you. They have changed. And they are grateful for that change. Even if you never see the message. Even if you never know. The final piece is approaching. But this piece is different. This piece isn't about them anymore. It's about you. They have let go. They have released you. They have set you free. And now, you are left with a choice. Not a choice about the message. A choice about yourself. Will you keep running? Will you keep hiding? Will you keep protecting your heart from the possibility of being hurt? Or will you finally, bravely, let someone see you? They saw you. They loved you. They let you go. And now, it is your turn to decide what kind of love you are willing to receive. One more piece remains hidden. And it is the most sacred of all. When they sent that message, they weren't just saying goodbye. They were saying hello. Hello to the version of you that is free. Hello to the version of you that is whole. Hello to the version of you that doesn't need anyone to complete you. They were saying hello to the person you are about to become. And they were celebrating that person. Even if they never get to meet them. The message is fading now. Almost gone. One more breath. One more heartbeat. One more moment of possibility. And then, silence. But not the silence of loss. The silence of peace. Because they loved you. They truly loved you. And that love will never disappear. You will understand soon. The biggest truth is still hidden. Another layer remains. And the final piece. The message is gone. It faded. It vanished. It slipped back into the invisible place where unsent words go to rest. And they watched it go. They watched the screen go dark. They watched the last trace of their plea disappear. And in that moment, something broke open inside them. Not their heart. Their heart was already open. Something else broke. Their resistance. Their need to control the outcome. Their desperate grip on what they thought love was supposed to look like. All of it fell away. You might be feeling something right now. A strange emptiness. A quiet ache. A sense that you missed something important. That you let something precious slip through your fingers. That feeling is real. But it is not the end. It is the beginning of something you never expected. Because now that the message is gone, something else can arrive. Something that was always waiting. Something that could only come once the words disappeared. Have you noticed how still everything feels? How the noise in your mind has quieted? How the questions have stopped racing and settled into a single, soft whisper? That whisper is trying to tell you something. Listen. The news they received about you, it wasn't just about who you are. It was about who you are becoming. And now that the message is gone, that becoming can happen without the weight of their expectation. Without the pressure of their hope. Without the shadow of their love hovering over your every step. You are free. Completely free. And that freedom is the greatest gift they could have ever given you. But here is the part that might surprise you. They are not sad. They thought they would be. They prepared themselves for grief. For regret. For the hollow ache of losing you forever. But it didn't come. Instead, something else arrived. A quiet joy. A peace they had never felt before. Because they finally did the hardest thing a loving heart can do. They let go. And in that letting go, they found themselves. Perhaps you have been holding on to something too. Perhaps you have been gripping a hope so tightly that your knuckles are white. Perhaps you have been afraid that if you let go, you would fall. But falling is not the end. Falling is how you learn to fly. They are flying now. Not because they stopped loving you. Because they finally trusted love enough to set it free. The next part is delicate. Handle it gently. They are still thinking about you. They will always think about you. But the thinking has changed. It is no longer desperate. It is no longer aching. It is no longer filled with questions and fears and endless what-ifs. It is grateful. Grateful that you existed in their life. Grateful that they got to love you. Grateful that they were brave enough to send that message, even if you never read it. That bravery changed them. And they will carry that change with them forever. You will understand soon. But first, let this settle into your bones. The message disappearing was not a rejection. It was not a failure. It was not a sign that love isn't real. It was the opposite. It was proof that love is real enough to let go. Real enough to trust. Real enough to believe that what is meant for you will never truly be lost. Another layer is revealing itself now. The news they received about you, it also showed them something about their own path. They saw that they have been waiting for you to save them. Waiting for you to fill a void that only they could fill. Waiting for you to be the answer to a question only they could answer. And in that seeing, they were freed. Freed from the impossible burden of expecting you to be their everything. Freed from the unfair weight of making you responsible for their happiness. Freed to love you without needing you. Before you leave, consider this. What if the disappearance of the message is exactly what both of you needed? What if the silence that follows is more honest than any words could ever be? What if the space between you is not a void, but a garden? A garden where new things can grow. Things that could never grow in the shadow of clinging and fear. Things like trust. Like peace. Like the kind of love that asks for nothing and gives everything. The final piece is still just out of reach. But you are closer than you think. And this piece is the most important one of all. It's about you. Not about them. Not about the message. Not about what you lost or what you missed. It's about who you are in this very moment. And who you are is someone who is loved. Loved without condition. Loved without demand. Loved without expectation. Loved simply because you exist. One more piece remains hidden. And it is waiting for you to discover it. When they sent that message, they were speaking to the part of you that has always known the truth. The truth that you are worthy. The truth that you are enough. The truth that you have never been alone, even when it felt like it. They were speaking to that part of you. And even though the message is gone, those words are still alive. They are alive in the silence. Alive in the space between your heartbeats. Alive in the quiet knowing that you have been loved all along. The message is gone. But you are still here. And they are still here. And love is still here. Always here. Always waiting. Always patient. Always ready to meet you where you are, without asking you to be anywhere else. You will understand soon. The biggest truth is still hidden. Another layer remains. And the final piece. Something unexpected is happening. In the silence after the message disappeared, they didn't walk away. They didn't close their heart. They didn't move on to something else. They stayed. Not in desperation. Not in hope. Not in the painful waiting of before. They stayed in a new way. A way that has no name yet. They are simply present. Present with the love they feel. Present with the memory of you. Present with the strange, quiet peace that has settled over them like a blanket in winter. You might be wondering what comes next. You might be wondering if this is the end of the story. You might be wondering if you should reach out, if you should say something, if you should try to find them now that the message is gone. Hold that question. Don't answer it yet. There is more to understand first. Have you noticed how the world feels different now? How the air seems lighter. How the weight that was pressing on your chest has softened. That is not a coincidence. That is the gift of the disappearing message. It lifted something from you. Something you didn't even know you were carrying. The pressure to respond. The pressure to perform. The pressure to be what someone else needed you to be. All of it lifted. And now you can breathe. The news they received about you. It showed them something that is only now becoming clear to you. You have been carrying burdens that were never yours to carry. Burdens of guilt. Burdens of obligation. Burdens of trying to be enough for everyone who needed you. And they saw that. They saw it clearly. And that is why they let the message go. Because they realized that adding one more expectation to your shoulders was the last thing they wanted to do. They wanted to take something away. Not add something. But that's not all. Another truth is emerging from the stillness. They are not waiting for you anymore. Not in the way they were before. They are not watching their phone. They are not hoping for a notification. They are not holding their breath. They are living. Living fully. Living freely. Living in the beauty of the love they have, even without the response they once craved. And that living, it is drawing something new toward them. Something they never expected. The next part will stay with you for a long time. They have started to pray for you. Not the kind of prayer that asks for something. The kind that simply holds you in the light. The kind that whispers your name with tenderness and releases you to the universe. They pray that you find peace. They pray that you find joy. They pray that you find the love you deserve, whether it comes from them or from somewhere else. They pray for you without condition. And that prayer is more powerful than any message they could have ever written. You will understand soon. But first, let this touch your heart. There is a kind of love that doesn't hold on. There is a kind of love that releases. There is a kind of love that says, I want you to be happy, even if I am not the reason for your happiness. That is the love they have found. And it is the most beautiful love of all. Another layer is unfolding. The news they received about you, it also showed them the future. Not the future they wanted. Not the future they hoped for. The future that is. They saw you walking your own path. Growing. Changing. Becoming the person you were always meant to be. And they saw themselves walking their own path too. Two paths. Separate but connected. Both beautiful. Both meaningful. Both exactly as they should be. And in that seeing, they found a peace that nothing could disturb. Before you leave, consider this. What if the greatest love story is not the one where two people stay together? What if the greatest love story is the one where two people help each other become who they truly are, even if that means walking in different directions? They helped you become who you are. You helped them become who they are. And that is a sacred thing. A thing that cannot be undone. A thing that will echo through both of your lives forever. The final piece is still waiting. But this piece is different from all the others. This piece is about them. Not about what they wanted from you. About what they found in themselves. They found courage. They found strength. They found the ability to love without needing to be loved back. They found themselves. And that discovery, it was the real message all along. The message they sent to you was really a message they were sending to themselves. A message that said, you are enough. You are whole. You are worthy of love, even if you never receive it from the person you love most. One more piece remains hidden. And it is the most gentle of all. In the quiet after the message disappeared, they heard a voice. Not a loud voice. Not a demanding voice. A soft voice. A voice that said, you did well. And they knew. They knew it was true. They had done well. They had loved bravely. They had risked everything. They had opened their heart completely. And even though the message was gone, even though you never read it, even though the outcome was not what they hoped for, they did well. The message is gone. But something else has arrived. Something that could only come after the message disappeared. Something that was waiting for the right moment to appear. Something that is now standing at the door of your heart, knocking softly. It is the truth about who you really are. Not who you thought you were. Not who others told you to be. Who you really are. You will understand soon. The biggest truth is still hidden. Another layer remains. And the final piece.